edition of What the Fuck happenings in this YouTube place. These people aren't even atheists, really. They really aren't. They have all kinds of theories. They're little quantum gods. Information theory. Anyway, so we'll get to that probably. Maybe. We'll see. So anyway, so there has been some controversy. All these naysayers that are out there. Arrogant, patronizing twats. Just any one of Piro's friends, actually. So Skyzer. He's Skyzer. He's a psychotic twatopath. He is Skyzer. Critiquing somebody. He shouldn't. There should be a law, international law, that just says preposterous losers. Losers of this level of losery have no business critiquing anything. They can't even tell possums they're walking crooked. Come on, really, Skyzer. He's a smaller man than me in every respect. Shit. Anyway. It was funny. I've listened to some of this, but how like they just sat there and listened to this shit. It was kind of curious. It didn't say anything, as far as I know. I don't know. I just jumping through little clips of it. So it's not, not much on this subject. They just get on the, whatever, Vic shows up and they just waste time talking all this stupid race crap and men's rights shit and whatever. The subjects I just really, I'm not going to solve those problems, buddy. Anyway, so Alpha Day did make a reasonable video. So he made 5 unreasonable videos, and so then he decides to make this reasonable video. So I reasonably responded, but his critiques are just so obtuse, and so, some of that content, I don't know if there's much value. Some of it's going to have value, but some of it is just, I'm explaining to him why his obtuse element is not relevant, and just even going into the obtuseness is just so obtuse, so you just kind of lose all will to live at a certain point because you're into such minutia. And then the opposite extreme is Piro. Piro made some sort of idiotic video. I'm not listening to your video. I'm not doing. And he sort of just basically admits he never even read the paper. The paper is not very long. It's really like a 10-minute read at the most. Look, this is it. It's. I tried to make it as concise as possible. That's all there is. And he couldn't handle it. And he hangs on the most ludicrous things in the world. Photons generally move from point A to point B in a straight line. That's controversial now. You can't say that. That's crazy talk. Silly. Absolutely silly that we shoot laser beams to the moon and bounce the light back and all. No way. That stuff's going crookedy as hell. You're just saying, what's the fucking point if you have to argue a statement that fucking innocuous? I don't really need to have it in here. I could just take it out. Okay, straight line's not important. Speed really isn't that important. Now, the shape thing is sort of important because, polarization is important. So you're going to tell me polarization doesn't exist? And that frequency doesn't exist? Well, yes, he's going to say that. He actually believes frequency doesn't exist as a concept. That light doesn't actually have a frequency. We decide what it has when we receive it. No. Yes, it's true that it's fundamentally important whether you're moving and you change the frequency of what's being produced by something, but the fact is it's what it is, okay? The fact that the pie's moving towards you at a speed and you change it from blueberry to apple, so I don't know, you can't even analogize that, but the point is the light is what it is. You don't get to decide what it is. But anyway, it's just no point. So anyway, and this is like the most unimportant part of this document, right? The document has an explanation for magnetism in it, and it's an explanation of gravity, the two big subjects. and totally ignored. So anyway, I didn't want to get on this subject anyway. There's so many other things to talk about. So, my good friends, Mike and Dee, did do a video together, and that was very nice. So, and Dee's did a little art site thingy. I don't mean to trivialize it like it's little, but you know what I'm saying. It's starting off kind of thing. So, very good, excellent, great, fantastic. I have to do the painting thing. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm getting there. I'm going to start painting any day now. Any minute. It's going to happen. So what else? So yeah, there was the Piro thing. Okay, so there's something by Tommy from the Bronx. This guy apparently has his own frickin' channel or whatever. Joe Cool, whatever he is, Pimp Buddy Poo Poo or something. Pimp Buddy Poo. So I don't know whatever it is. And somebody give me the link. And Tommy from the Bronx was in this stupid room with these people who talk about pubic hair and shit. But anyway, yeah, I'm just the woman was bitching about like somehow men should shave, and you're just like, really, you're not even gonna. My pubic hair is going to be quite irrelevant, if you're, you know what I mean. By the time you get to my pubic hair, you'll think you just had an enema. Anyway, just the whole conversation is just. People are, generally speaking, just basically gross. But anyway, so they went on this rag about, this old drama, and Tommy from the Bronx apparently wants to do this, let's dig up old drama shit or something. And so these assholes were talking about, like, 1943 drama between, me and that Devash Bill douchebag guy and Peach, and, because I made some inappropriate jokes about Karina's visit, and it's just such, I mean, really, the video's there. There's just, this is not fucking a horror show in any respect. And obviously, Karina came back, and we did there was supposed to be a documentary and all that kind of stuff. Well, anyways, but whatever. I mean, and then they did a whole rag on her, and they started fucking ragging on her personality or something. And I mean, it's just like, you're saying, what the fuck is this shit? So fuck you, Tommy. I mean, really. I could have taken the money, shithead. You're just such a fucking. I mean, I just like saying, well, you're saying why do I ever think these people are humans, and they deserve anything, but fiery death, like the Piros. I mean, I actually had that scumbag in my fucking house. I mean, fuck. I mean, why am I fooled by these people and think, oh yeah, these are human beings? No, they're scum. Fucking cruddy scum. Yeah, generally speaking, except for Mike and Dee. And Old Fan, of course, who, is working on her computer issues and blah, 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 and is doing the whole day after thing over the movie. It's going to be the week after, the month after, and, all personal human drama and all that kind of stuff. And, all that stuff does that. I mean, I'll put the snow shoveling video in here just because I have to do something with it since I made the video. But anyway, so I'll actually have to edit this video, which, fuck, I don't want to do that. So, anyway. So, there's all interesting stuff going on, sort of, kind of, maybe, possibly. So the other thing, it was really, I saw Snake Plisskenus did one of his room things, and his, his father showed up in the room, right? And it was just bizarre. It was like, I had no idea that he came, I felt a kind of empathy, because he was obviously the byproduct of retardation gone okay. I mean, sometimes retards have kids that are not retarded, but I mean, obviously his parents are retarded, and it's just, wow. You're just like, wow. I mean, their necks are so red, you can't fucking, But, I mean, a father shows up in the room and says, well, if you're not going to talk about guns and sex and drugs, I'm not interested. I mean, if my father did, I'd just have to blow my brains out, right? I mean, your father's got a, plastic bottle with a, made into a hookah, and you're just like, well, you can't even buy a glass hookah, you fucker. I mean, fuck, you can buy guns, though. I mean, he actually shot somebody in the face, and, yeah, I mean, how do you survive being raised by baboons? I mean, I mean, my parents were totally, in a lot of ways, just totally disinterested. But I mean, I'd much rather have that. that that's something. I mean, just to have parents who are gonna like, oh fuck, I can't take them out in public. And his father's basically somebody you just can't take out in public. I mean, it's just what the fuck. Sorry, but I mean, it's my impression. It's one of these perverty old Santa Claus kind of guys. They're just like Chris Crappy. Oh man, Chester the molester at 70. Well, anyway, so yeah, it did give me a bit of empathy. Because I'm saying Snake's done very well, considering. You know, but he's unemployed now. He's a mess. He's fucked his whole life up with this bullshit. So, but he needs a clean start. He has to get out of wherever he is anyway. Where the fuck is he living anyway? Some kind of Kansas or something. He's got to get the fuck out of there anyway. There's no place to live. So anyway, that was interesting. I mean, it was bizarre. It makes you wonder and think and such. Yeah. Made me wonder and think and such. So I thought I had more stuff. I mean, it seems to me there was more stuff here. There was some other psychotic, stupid, crazy shit going on. But I don't see it here anywhere. Yeah, I don't. So anyway, that angry photographer guy did another open room. Yeah, I couldn't, I say, look, open the room. And he says, I don't know how to do that. I'm like, oh, yeah, right, okay, you can transcribe C-script or something. You can do, 700 languages. Everything. You have every camera on Earth ever made. You have all this, and you can't figure out how to make a public room on YouTube. And you're not even, I mean, the lack of willingness to even try. Just, but he was willing to debate anybody. He's not afraid of anybody or anything. He's pretty afraid. It's this guy. Yeah. But an interesting character. I mean, just, he's got all these people with backstories, lived with an older woman, she died of cancer, cost him $4 million, blah, 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 this, blah, blah. But he's got 2 houses, and he apparently can afford everything on Earth. He has every toy he ever made, and blah, 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 but he's broke, but, And then he goes from being, sort of not unhealthy to preposterously fat. He's smart enough to know that can't be good. That can't be a good plan. You're just like, wow, But, takes all kinds, as some people say now and then. I mean, people say all kinds of shit, so don't know if that matters. I don't know, this warbles on a lot stuff. Well, yeah, everything he does is kind of boring lately. So, yeah, I don't care. So, I mean, I got to fill this with something else, right? There's got to be something else happening. I thought there was. I should have wrote shit down. But anyway, yeah, I'm just doing to get this physics thing rolling. I can just do a little more work on it. So for all this controversy, all these people ragging at me, I have not edited anything, so they're not making anything called a valuable contribution anyway. In a sense, they haven't scared me with any kind of fact. It was funny that some guy posted a link where I'm supposed to go to the page proving relativity, and it's such a funny page on on Wikipedia, and it's just like somehow that was going to convince me of something. It's like that pretty much demonstrates my whole point. And it's just these answers, for these people, like especially Piro. I mean, like I said, this pretentiousness about this whole thing, and nobody can be at all suspicious of his gods, And I'm just saying that they can come up with any kind of bullshit, hologramic fucking theories. Oh yeah, those are all valid theories, and just the whole idea that this whole contrivance of the invention of dark matter is just so obviously what they've done from the very beginning. Starting with Einstein's silly bent space bullshit. It's just a contrivance, a way they can't explain where the energy comes from for gravity, so they create a fake universe to pull the energy out of. It's just so obviously a contrivance. And you look at dark matter and you say, all they did was engineer a solution to a problem. They have a problem. They have to come up with some reason there's more gravity. And so what do? They invent a magical, invisible, non-matter matter. So it has absolutely no quality of any material thing we ever have heard of, except one thing. It makes gravity. So it's like some sort of Higgs booby of matter. You know, it's the Higgs boson version of matter. It's just let's just invent some kind of crappy thing that we can just shove into everything whenever we need extra gravity. We'll just shove in some dark matter. And it's just such an obvious contrivance. It's completely made up like a god. I mean, it's the god of the gaps all over the fuck. You got a gap in your math and physics? Just invent some kind of dark thing. Or bend some fake space. Take space and just bend it or twist, just twist the space a little. You got a problem with an equation? Just twist space. You don't have to just bend it. You can twist it probably. You can probably crumple space into a ball. Yeah, just do anything you want with this stuff in the other dimension. You can do anything in that other dimension. So just invent a fifth dimension and make it out of peanut butter and jelly and solve all your problems that way. I mean, it's just so obvious. Just obvious made-up crap. It's just a God theory. They just made it up, pretended this answers a question. How did we get here? Well, God made us. And that's exactly what they're doing to the universe. I mean, it's just so obvious. I mean, I never realized that it's a religion, but yeah, physics is a religion. It doesn't have anything to do with science or proof or evidence. It just has to do with, let's just find any glimmer of hope and put some, we'll sprinkle some glue on it. We'll spread some glue on it and then sprinkle some glitter on it, and it'll all be okay. It doesn't have to have anything like, it doesn't have to be sensible or reasonable. And Guru says this overtly. Fuck reason. Like I say, he thinks philosophy is an academic exercise. He doesn't think it's supposed to be describing reality. So anyway, let's play a couple of clips and then we'll be done. I thought there was something else to comment on. I'm sorry if I slighted somebody, because there was probably something really relevant and I missed it. I'm getting some weird ass related videos. Speedo Man? What is that doing in there? Physics videos and then I don't know. This is weird.
And blah, blah, blah. And I've always found it fascinating. And there can be bits of truth in that stuff, too, because there's a lot of room in natural philosophy to thinking about science and some of these crazy theories.
Natural philosophy is about crazy. Blah, blah, blah. No. You're either talking something reasonable or unreasonable, and reasonable and unreasonable should be based on something called evidence. And when you have to use things like invented dark matter to make your theory work, when you have to put that much glue on it to make it stick together, it's not meant to stick together. It's just not that you haven't got the puzzle pieces right. If you've got to sit there and use that much, if you got to use the knives and scissors to get it to fit and glue, you've got the wrong theory.
Kind of have like some little token of what they're trying to go for. Yeah, what were they trying to? So
that might be true, but when you have to resort to the it's a big conspiracy, you're keeping us out. Isn't that precisely what the creationists do as well?
Right, so we're all guilty, right? So there's no solution, right? So Einstein was a patent clerk, therefore unqualified to have an opinion, so nobody should have ever listened to him in the first place. Yeah, and it turns out he was just a silly crank because he was wrong about everything. Right? I'm just saying you're not going to win with this stupid pigeonhole-y bullshit. All right, the argument and the quality of the argument should decide whether you listen to somebody. Now, if somebody starts talking shit about dark matter, it really shouldn't matter if it says PhD after his name, if all he's got to explain its invention is we needed to invent it. Yes, there's no evidence that it exists. We just needed something to fix our mathematical problem. If that's the explanation, I mean, fuck. You're saying nobody can say that's a God theory, and you're going to call the other people God theorists? I'm conceding the point. There's a ton of people out there. There's a guy with a rope theory. There's a camera guy with his hyperbolic tropoloid theory. There's people with perpetual motion theories. It's true. But that doesn't mean nobody your authorities are now impervious to critique. And I'm just saying, I think it's quite obvious, all right, that for the last 100 years they keep telling you, look, I know it sounds preposterous, but just go along with me. It all works out. Trust me. Isn't that all they're saying? Yeah, quantum is, okay, it sounds preposterous. You know, the photon's reading our minds and blah, 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 but that's what it's really doing. Come on. Nobody can smell this shit? And this is shit. Frankly.
Well, yeah. If you can demonstrate an actual fucking conspiracy against you, fine. But just
well, again, so that's another point, right? At Wikipedia, was it or was it not a conspiracy, right? People from YouTube who hated me pretended not to be from YouTube and not to be haters, and basically made sure that 10 links got wiped off of a page to prevent me from publishing on the page. Right? The only way they could legitimately prevent me from publishing on the page was to apply the same standards to 10 other people and wipe them off the page. So they destroyed 10 links to spite me. It sounds, because there was a couple of YouTube trolls playing the game. Just saying. I mean, look, there's professional physicists talking as if the single-slit experiment doesn't exist. Am I supposed to believe they didn't take a basic physics course? Every single one of the online physics courses has single-slit diffraction. How come they're not explaining when they do the two-slit experiment that, oh yeah, by the way, there's a pattern when there's one slit. So fuck all this nonsense I'm talking about these two slits. It really doesn't matter. One slit will do it too. They're too stupid to just admit that? They're ignorant of that fact? Am I supposed to believe that? Or is the real truth they want to make this into something mystery and magic? I'm the master of the magic. They want to be magicians. They want everybody to believe they're so preposterously intelligent that they understand these magical forces. Yeah, it's their ego. Brickhead.
The conspiracy.
Didn't inmendham have some sort of weird thing about...
Oh, this guy's talking about weird. Yeah, isn't that a little weird? This is an asshole who can't even sit in his chair straight, and he's going to call me, say something I'm doing is weird. This guy is going to call other people weird. Huh. Gee. That's kind of interesting. Not really.
But there's like a pixel to... I don't know, he had this weird thing, like the difference between this and this, and he explained it.
Wow, that was incredibly articulate. Don't you remember when I did that this and this video, and I was doing like this pixel, this and this, and I remember that too. Yeah, what was I, drunk or something when I did that video? So this is the caliber of critique you get, right? I mean, that's too brilliant, isn't it? I mean, oh yeah, I'm pwned right there. Yeah, I sure did. I did that pixel this and this thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, I did that. No. Guilty. Fuck.
And one time, and I said, "What's your proof of this?" And he was like, "Oh, well, it's all theoretical."
Where did that happen? Well, show me the evidence of that, douche.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, right? And this is because I see parallels with you.
Well, look, he's got a little symbol. Well, I'm a Nazi. Shinazi. I'm a Shinazi. Yeah. Shinazi. Yeah, it's like a sneeze. Yeah, a little symbol. Skyzer power. It's a crooked Z. See? See? See the crooked Z? It's Skyzer with a Z.
Oh, and I've been watching Half a Days as well, or Hyper Day.
Yeah, I can't say his name after 10 years on YouTube. Wow, that's brilliant. So let's see if there's any, like even a kernel of something like a rational thing, like a statement, like actually explaining how I'm wrong about something. Let's see if there is any.
Because anytime I mention science to Gary, he's like, "Oh, fucking science!" And like now he's doing the whole science.
Where did this ever happen? Where have I even had a conversation with you in the last whatever amount of years, where I didn't just say that from the very beginning, "Fuck you, Skyzer"? Where's that? Where's that? We've had a conversation in the last 5 years where I didn't just say, "Will somebody kick that fucking lunatic? Will somebody do something? Stop that! I cannot do this. I will not listen to farting sounds." I'm just not going to do that, okay? I mean, maybe you people want to sit in a room and listen to somebody farting, but I can't hear Skyzer doing anything else. Everything that comes out of his mouth just sounds to me exactly like a fart. He's like the greatest fart imitator in the history of mankind because he doesn't say anything that's ever anything. They're just noises that come out of a little human orifice.
I was thinking, particularly, I'm just like, he's just such a hypocrite. Like, really, like, come on.
What the fuck is this point? I'm a hypocrite. How? Any description of the hypocrisy here somewhere? Oh, no.
Fucking guy doesn't even know what a mole is, and he's telling me like he knows.
I know what a weasel is. Okay, it probably weighs a lot more than a mole, fucker. Fucker.
Shut up.
Not to patronize them or anything.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just saying that, this will be part of my, this will be the histrionics of my success. We'll be pointing to these assholes and just recognizing, I'm going to get it written down in physics somewhere, some kind of little saying like, "Don't be a Pyrrho," which would, don't be a preposterously arrogant, patronizing snot. Okay? And certainly don't be you, fuckhead. I mean, Pyrrho can almost handle the language of science. You can't even do that, retard. It's a pixely thing about this and this. And you're going to critique somebody? Sideways brain? I mean, amazing. I mean, you should be like on milk cartons as a fucking intelligence molester.
Well, I'm going to
say, like, he's probably has some sort of mild mental condition. Not to patronize him.
Oh, gee, not to patronize him, not to bring up something totally. Oh, like Einstein didn't have any psychological issues at all. He was just a perfectly well-adjusted guy, right? Like everybody else. Like most scientists, like most great scientists, like even Feynman or all these people, they're all affected in some way or another. You're not going to be brilliant and be Joe Average, asshole. But you will probably be able to sit up straight. You won't have to do this. You'll figure out how to, hey, you know what? Maybe if I bend the camera to straightest, then I won't have to lean over. Yeah, you'll probably be able to handle that.
Or anything.
It's called having a stroke above my head.
I'm bringing up the stroke now? Oh, yeah, that's all relevant to this conversation somehow. Yeah, that's where I got my theory from, the stroke. God, you people just suck so bad. So I'll just blame Pyrrho being a complete imbecile and the fact that he had a brain aneurysm. I'll just bring that up, right? It's a brain aneurysm, yeah. So, yeah, Pyrrho's retarded because he had a brain aneurysm.
We all do, but the thing is, he's asked for feedback, and he wants...
intelligent feedback, where you actually read the document. Yeah, asshole. I didn't ask for somebody to read 2 paragraphs and bitch because they don't think light travels in a straight line, generally speaking. Douchebag. Yeah, there's absolutely no point to have a conversation if you think the average human being on Earth should have the impression that light is not a straight thing at all. It's crookedy all over the place. All the time it's doing all kinds of crookedy things. I mean, fuck, you can't even trust seeing your house for your front door because the light's all fucking bent all over the goddamn... Your front door could be over there. How do you fucking goddamn trust light? Light doesn't move straight. I mean, I can't even say fuck you loud enough to say, yeah, if that's what you call some sort of rational critique of a document that wasn't even about photons moving in straight lines because it's assumed that you sort of understand that's what they generally do. Yeah. Fuck you. All right, let's see. All right, let's see if there's probably nothing else here, but just a minute more and then you'll be done.
Scientists to give feedback, but if just an amateur armchair, some science in college person.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, Einstein in a patent office. So you should have mocked his. Well, you really should have mocked it, right? I mean, bent space. Somebody should have said, "You going with this?" I mean, isn't this model of gravity using gravity? I mean, isn't it cheating? I mean, you're explaining gravity by using gravity to explain gravity? I think that's cheating.
And is going to point out a detail. You're going to have to, that's a little speed bump. You might want to be able to get over that speed bump before you...
Yeah, there's no fucking speed bump. I'm not changing anything. You obviously haven't made an argument that's anywhere close to being reasonable or rational. So, yeah, whatever, scientist guy.
Going to the brick wall, trying to argue this stuff. Yeah, with the quantum mechanical, they'd be like, what the hell? There's nothing to really discuss.
Yes, exactly. There's nothing to really discuss because you have a religion, okay, and you're impervious to a rational or reasonable argument that has some sort of expectation that your evidence is better than, well, we invented dark matter to fill all these problems with the fact that there's no gravity to create the lensing, so we just made some gravity to create the lensing. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with making up some fake matter to make fake gravity so we can say there's fake lensing, real lensing, made out of fake matter having fake gravity? Yeah, and you're not frauds and phonies, and you don't have any scientific integrity or passion whatsoever. You don't give a fuck about the idea of truth. You give a fuck about your silly, phantasmagorical fables, because you're really glued to them as meaning something. I don't know what your catch is. I mean, maybe you own stock in, quantum phantasmagorical, the enterprise or the storefront. But fuck you. You're an idiot. You really are an idiot to think you can sit there and play a game where you don't even read a document and critique it. I mean, you're just disgusting to call that anything but something that should be disrespected. Either if you're not going to be bothered to do something seriously, you don't do it at all. If you ain't going to do a job right, you don't do it at all. And you didn't do the job right, fuckhead. And you come to the table grossly ignorant. You don't even know what the single slit experiment is. You don't even understand the truth of it. You stupid fuck. Oh, here's Brickhead again.
The point that it's insulting to the people who've trained for fucking years. Like this internet assembled.
Exactly right. So I spend at least 3 years on this. Again, watching all the lectures on physical mechanics, essentially, at MIT, Stanford, and Harvard. So I watched the full first and second year lecture courses of physics. And you're saying I have no qualifications whatsoever. I haven't done any work. I've done more research on the two-slit experiment than I would contend anybody on YouTube. I've seen more of them. I've read about more of them than I would contend anybody on YouTube. I know more two-slit experiments than anybody knows. But I'm not qualified. I haven't done anything to make myself informed and educated on the subject, says Brickhead. Have you read the paper, Brickhead? Have you? You're going to critique something you haven't even read, correct? You haven't read the paper, and yet you're going to critique it. And you're going to critique me and my qualifications. And you're going to do it in this arrogant manner where, everybody listen to me, pay attention. See, I'm pointing out to you that this guy's a fraud. I have no evidence that he's a fraud. I have no evidence that he's ill-informed or ignorant. I'm just going to make the claim. And that's something that somebody should respect. No, I'll just say, you look like a pedophile, fucker. Proof to me.
expertise these people think they have. Ridiculous. Like, I'm not an expert on shit, but I'll say it. But I'll say, look, I'm not a trained professional on this.
This is my opinion.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah. That's like me going up to a mechanic and going, oh no, I built an engine, and they're like, did you? And I'm like, no, but this is my opinion. It's like, well, shut up then.
Well, again, so you're supposed to shut up then. So that's the attitude. Shut up. Doesn't matter unless you have a degree, right? So unless I get the little badge to wear, and I'm wearing my badge, that's all that counts. The badge makes the man, okay, and the badge makes them right. I think that's really dumb. But I already, what are you expecting from a twatopath? Shit. All right. Well, now we're done. That's enough of this shit. Sorry, I went on longer than I should have on that crap. I mean, I knew there was not going to be anything like a real argument why this can't be true, and how the single-slit experiment does do something, it demonstrates something that doesn't prove the two-slit experiment to be a complete fraud. But nothing like that. Nothing at all. I mean, somebody brought up Huygens somewhere, right? And I was just like, no, you're not going to do that, right? It's all Huygens. It's a fraud. It's fake. All it means is you take the regular math and you multiply by 1/2. You make two slits. You cut the distance in half so you can do exactly what you do in the two-slit experiment to the single-slit experiment. And you think that's valid. You think it's valid to cut a photon in half, make it go through two slits so you can create an interference pattern. And you think that's a valid explanation of what actually takes place in reality. The photon hits the single slit, splits into two, and interferes with itself. I think it's silly nonsense. And anybody with any kind of reason should say, that sounds like absolute silly nonsense. It certainly doesn't happen with a water wave. There's no evidence that when I put water through a single slit, there's any fucking Huygens crap going on. No siree. So, yeah, your people are pathetic. And you're pathetic because you don't have an argument, you don't have evidence, and number one, the most important, you don't have anything, you don't have reason. What you're saying is not reasonable. It shouldn't pass any reasonable person's test of genuine and legitimate. It's crap. You're making shitty arguments, and you're making them in a shitty manner. But what do I expect from fucking creepy humans? Fucking baboons. Anyway, till next time. Yeah, I know there's something else. I know I'm forgetting something, so sorry. Maybe next time.